Our panelists are here to join us now. GOP strategist Amir Benno is joining us. He's a constitutional law attorney, and Democratic strategist and attorney Kelly Hyman is joining us as well. Dino Scaros is here, presidential historian, immigration attorney, and professor and author of this book, Trumped Up Charges. Good to see everybody here. I'll start with Dino on this one specifically. Thousands of migrants have crossed since Biden's inauguration, overwhelming border security, thousands of unaccompanied children camped for days in cramped jail-like detention facilities. This was reported by border security from CBS. Also, the group of Republicans toured those facilities. Listen to this, and we'll get your thoughts on it.
And trafficking of these children. When we walked those facilities and we looked in those rooms that were packed, these were children with no parents. These were children that went numbers of days. Who knows what happened to them? Who knows who didn't make it? So no, don't encourage them to come.
Dino, what happened? What changed with the United States immigration policies that we're seeing this dramatic shift where we're having to use a NASA facility reportedly or a Dallas Convention Center now, and the list continues?
Very simple, 2 words, Joe Biden. What a lot of Americans don't understand is that for whatever they consider their mundane or their daily grind lives, there are hundreds of millions of people around the world dying to be in their situation. There are people around the world whose lives are so miserable, they would give anything just to be a homeless person on America's streets. That's how much better it is by comparison. And so there is the continuous movement to come here. And for 4 years under Trump, we actually put that on hold. And now the word is spreading. You're not going to believe this. You're not going to believe who America elected, and now we could just come in again. It's kind of like a bank robber being told, you know, all you have to do is walk into the bank, walk right up to the vault. No kidding. Take all the money you want and leave. So that is what's happening, and it is because of the change in administration. There is nothing more obvious than the fact of who's in charge making the difference.
All right, we're actually out of time. I've got to leave it there. Okay, we can keep it going. Kelly Hyman, let me get your thoughts on that and respond to Dino.
Well, we are a country made of immigrants, and so every country has a right to protect our border, but this is a humanitarian issue. These are young children that are concerned about their safety, their welfare, their lives, and they're coming here. There has been studies that have shown that there hasn't been that many people coming. I would say that that is just a false narrative. These are young children. There has been no change in the Biden administration other than the issue with young children, unaccompanied children, to make sure they're temporary here for their own safety and well-being.
Well, I mean, the reports show that it's tripled the number of young children, Amir, and now because there's such an influx in people arriving at the border, the conditions are not humane. We're hearing reports that people only have access to showers once a week. Children are going hungry. Lawyers at the border say that they're unable to see sunlight because of these harsh conditions that they're in. I mean, for an administration that's promising humanity, Amir, this is not a humane situation.
Not at all, Emma. And I would just like to correct Kelly that we have 100% more interactions between migrants and border protection right now than we did last year, and more than we did a few years ago when the Democrats were saying that there was a crisis at the border. And in fact, there was a crisis at the border. So there's indisputably a crisis at the border. The reasons why we're seeing this has everything to do with Joe Biden's policies. I mean, we look at some of the policies here. Halting construction of the border wall, rescinding the zero tolerance policy where they criminalized and prosecuted people who illegally crossed the border, getting rid of the Remain in Mexico policy, stopping the deportation of illegals, lifting the travel bans. I mean, it goes on and on and on. And what you're seeing now is you're incentivizing families to come, children to come, and if you're really talking, Kelly, about humanitarian issues, you should be concerned about these children and these women who are traversing up through cartel-controlled territories in Mexico to get to the borders where the cartels are just getting enriched off of them because they charge them money for passage. These people, these kids have nobody in the country, so they become indentured to the cartels. More than 40% of the women who who make the journey are sexually assaulted. It is a humanitarian crisis, and it's a public safety issue here. It's straining the resources of these border communities. They don't have room in their shelters. They don't have room in their hospitals. They don't have the food supply for them. They have people they have to shut down schools in some of these communities because some of these migrants are walking around with guns. It is a devastating situation for those communities, not to mention a public health crisis because people with COVID are coming into the country. They don't have the resources to test them, and they're letting them go into the interior. All around, it's a terrible situation, and it comes back to Joe Biden.
Okay, out of time for the segment. Appreciate you all weighing in. Amir Benno, Kelly Hyman, and Dino Scaros. Thanks so much.